All right. Hello, Broadway and Chicago fans. My name is Neil, and I am very much looking forward to our stage door conversation today with you all and our special guest. She is Elgin's own and has made a glorious return to our fair city in the North American tour launch of Moulin Rouge the musical. You may know her from her time on Broadway as Princess Jasmine in Disney's Aladdin, as a member of the closing company of In the Heights, or even back to her debut in Mamma Mia. So let's get her in here and give a warm welcome, Courtney Reed. There you
Yay!
go, the Sparkling Diamond.
What an intro. Thank you, darling.
Of course. We're so happy to have you back in Chicago,
Oh, it's the best.
where it all began.
I know. I'm so sad we're only here a couple more weeks. It feels like it's just flown by.
It really has. It goes by quickly, but it's been a wonderful time having you here. So I'm just going to start off with a few little rapid fire questions to
Okay.
know you. So what is your go-to comfort food?
Oh, I love tacos. Al Pastor tacos, so good.
Very good. What is one of your favorite places to take non-Chicagoans, people coming to visit?
Oh, I love this place called Trivoli Tavern in the West Loop. Have you been there?
I have not, but adding it to my list, I've got it.
Add it to the list. Add it. It's so good. They have a really good happy hour and the most amazing, hot chicken on the
Ooh,
happy hour menu. You got to get it. You got to go.
love a hot chicken. Uh, what is the one of the top things on your bucket list, like must do before?
Oh, I just want to travel the world.
Yeah,
But I mean,
it's big girl. There's a out there.
I know.
What was the last show you saw that wasn't Moulin Rouge?
Six. Oh gosh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. If you have a chance, if you're in Chicago, if you have a chance to see it here before they leave. I think they're here maybe like a month after
Yeah,
us.
it's through July 3rd. We've got a 14-week long run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's amazing because it started here at Chicago Shakes. It had its North American premiere there here in Chicago,
Oh,
and
right.
ones to get it back. So we've got two North American tour launches starting here in Chicago, which is something that always gets us really excited here at Broadway in Chicago.
Go Shy.
Yeah. Then what was the first show you were in and role that you had? Doesn't have to be a professional
Oh, my first role ever was a mouse in Cinderella.
one.
And recently my niece played a mouse in Cinderella as well, like in the same like community theater that I grew up doing. So it's like
It's
it's like mind blowing.
a moment. It's like the passing of the torch there.
Totally, totally.
I love it. So when was it that it clicked for you? That was it when you were that mouse, or was there a moment in your professional studies in your career that you said like, yes, this is what I want to do for a living?
I when I played Annie when I was maybe like 11 or 12, I played Annie in the Children's Theater of Elgin production, and I think that was the moment where I was like, this is what I have to do for the rest of my life. And my parents were shaking in their boots, but I'm sure that they were thrilled that I at least knew what I wanted to do. It was like there was no turning back after that.
Yeah, it's coming to that decision and like just going full steam ahead with that.
Totally.
What was the process like for you preparing to take on the role of Satine in Moulin Rouge?
Oh, well, I have to say this creative team is so thorough and so hands-on that I feel like a lot of the process was during the rehearsal. The time in rehearsals, it was 5 weeks, and we really got to do a ton of table work, a lot of just discussions and pairings and uh, sort of just being able to flesh out these roles. And so that was where I really got to prepare the most. And so I have to thank producers and the creative team for giving us that amount of time to like really do a deep dive into these characters.
Right. I'm kind of curious what that rehearsal process was like, because this was probably your first time meeting a lot of your castmates with the pandemic and everything. Everyone had to be separate for so long.
Yeah, it's so crazy because usually you start your first day of rehearsal with like maybe like a table read or sort of like a read through of the script and not maybe singing the songs, but like we had, I think, an entire week of table work and learning the music and all of that. And then we did uh our read through it. So it was kind of crazy. We're like, oh wait, you all are really talented. Like, but we weren't able to see each other like do their thing yet. So no, it was really special.
Yeah, and it really seems like it reflects a lot on, because it feels like you formed this community, like the Moulin Rouge is its own little community. So can you tell me about a little bit about what that's been like, just gelling with your cast members?
I mean, so much of it has to do with just casting the right people and the right energy, right? And so I think our team and our producers created a really safe space for all of us. So it starts at the top and it sort of trickles down. And I think we got really lucky. Just all of our personalities really are it's just magic together, and we all just have such a good time. And they always say if you have the chemistry off stage, you have the chemistry on stage. And so we just got so lucky. And I'm grateful because not only is this team like phenomenally talented, they're just full of love and light and sort of everything that the show represents. And you can't always say that for every production. I'd have to be like, let's move on to the next question if it wasn't really true, but it's true. And what you see on the stage is what you see backstage. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, cut you off.
It's really a fortunate thing to be able to have that. And speaking of chemistry, you and Connor Ryan on stage, you two are on fire.
Thank you.
So can you just tell me a little bit about your relationship with Connor there and how you developed that?
When I first met Connor, we were doing some press events, so we didn't really immediately. Well, actually, no, that's not true. The first time we met, we did a chemistry read, but I remember it was so quick, and there were a lot of nerves and things like that. But I remember like really gelling with his like personality. And then we did a couple press events actually here in Chicago. We did a photo shoot, and we just hit it off, and we were just laughing and having such a good time. And he's such an open person, and I feel like I am too. I'm just like a total open book, and I think he has an open heart, and so do I. So we never had any issues with like any of the intimacy stuff. Like it was just kind of, it was just supernatural. And I was like, oh, thank goodness.
Open hearts receive open hearts. I think
yeah.
That when I first met you back at Navy Pier, when you came to perform over the summer, and that was the first time that we were like, oh, Moulin Rouge, it's happening, it's real. So that was, I could feel it all the way back then.
Oh, thank you.
So if you had any advice you could give either to your younger self or to new actors that are just getting started out, trying to figure out, their path in life, what would you tell them?
I would say, if I could tell my younger self something, I would say, don't sweat the small stuff. You just hold on to these things that really just don't matter when you're younger, and then you get older and you're like, oh, actually, I think it's easier to proceed in life if you just don't sweat the small stuff. And so I've started like blessing, releasing certain things that I might be hard on myself for. It's like, okay, everyone's allowed to make a mistake, like move on, it's okay. And then I would tell any aspiring actors, I would just say, don't lose sight of what your dream is, but also like in the process of it all, just be a good person. And I think if you're a good human, that will, the cream rises to the top. And I think a lot of this industry is about reputation and who you are as a human versus just who you are as an artist. And so we all want to work with like great humans versus like people who are very talented, but like are divas, So I would say like go the good person route versus the diva route.
Exactly. Oh, Well, so one of the other special things is that you are getting to start this tour process in Chicago. So what's that been like for you? Like, have you had family and friends coming to see you? And, what's the reaction been like from them?
Oh, the reaction has been so wonderful. I think in a lot of ways people have never seen me in this light as far as like portraying a character such as Satine. It's like a total departure from a Disney princess. And so I think it's just been really fun for them to see me in this way. As far as people coming to the show, I have at least like one or two people per show per night, which is so thrilling. It makes me so happy, and I feel so like unworthy of their love. I'm like, oh, I can't believe you made like this trip to come see me. But it's been so special, and I get to go home every night to my apartment. I'm actually in the process of packing up my apartment because I've been in Chicago for the past couple of years, and I'm like kind of sad to leave. But
Yeah.
but it's so good to be home, and like I get to come home to my actual apartment every night during rehearsals, and it just feels so right.
Itself.
I know, blessings.
Come home, like sleep in your own bed, and now you're like, I have to adjust to get out onto the road. So, what are some things that you're looking forward to about being on the road with the show?
Well, I just like ugh, this is we just talked about this, but I just love hanging out with my company. And so it's really funny. I think we're all in Minneapolis, we're all staying at the same hotel. It's gonna be like college again, we're gonna be like, hey, do you have any sugar? Do you have any knocking on the doors, just hangs and sleepovers. I'm really excited for that, but I'm also totally excited for Los Angeles because I spent a couple years there before I moved back here, and I just love the weather there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
Change from the weather we've been having here in Chicago.
I know my castmates are like, girl, get your city, pull your city up on the weather. It's not correct. I'm like, I know, I'm trying.
If only we could control those kinds of things.
I know.
So, what's one of the things that you always have to do when you're in a new city? Like, what's kind of like one of those things that's like, all right, this is where I go.
I have to do the local, whatever like the sort of local food spots are. For instance, when I went to Philly, my friend who lived there was like, you have to get the cheesesteak with the cheese whiz at this place. Don't get the provolone. Don't get all the things. Get this and this and that. I want to do like what the locals do, because I want to experience like what the real authentic like local spots are, even if they're like dives, or like, kind of seedy. I'm like into it.
I'm sure there will be plenty of people on Instagram ready to DM you with recommendations, no matter what stop you visit. Just like put a call there.
Yeah, totally.
So what's something that you do for your own self-care? I mean, Satine is a very demanding role. You're on stage a lot. What do you do to kind of like help maintain yourself?
So I got so lucky. I have I've been taking voice lessons with Liz Kaplan, who is like, I don't know how I got in with her, but I think I've got grandfathered in many years ago with Aladdin. But she is the best of the best. And so I take a weekly voice lesson with her, which really keeps me sort of on track. And she is so hands-on and very does a deep dive on like, okay, what's going on with you physically, mentally? Okay, now let's go from there. So she is the best. And then every day I do some stretches to warm my body up, and I do like I will do like a full vocal warm up, like a pre-recorded warm up that I did with Liz Kaplan. And so that like really makes me feel like settled in my brain. I'm like, okay, if it's a Liz warm up, then I'll be good.
It's getting in that mindset, like just, preparing everything to get out on stage and show stop for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So it's been so lovely having you here with us, Courtney. Is there anything else you want to say to our followers before we end?
Oh, I just want to say thank you all so much for your support on the show. I think we put our blood, heart, sweat, and tears into the show every night, and the dedication of the company and the creatives to make this like the best show it possibly can be for all of you. And like, we really don't take that lightly. And I just, we're just so grateful for everyone who's come out to see it, and for, just saying something nice about the show and something nice about us. And just, we're just so, so grateful. And I'm just so sad to leave Chicago, but come catch us in another city, because we'll be around.
Yes, we want to share you with the rest of the world. We want everyone else in North America experience this incredible, spectacular show. I can't say enough good things about it. We're very sad it will be leaving on May 14th. So if you haven't seen it yet, make sure to get your tickets at broadwayinchicago.com. And
Yes.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.